Welcome to Dark 10. Today, we're going to go over 10 photos with creepy backstories. Make sure to watch until number 1, because it's one of the photos with creepiest backstories I've ever seen. Images from the past that are genuine and unique. Join us as we look at these 10 actual images with eerie backstories, ranging from children practicing bombing exercises to the staking of an alleged vampire's heart. 10. Liverpool school children with gas masks. In 1941, this eerie photograph was taken in Liverpool, England. During the early stages of World War II, all UK civilians were given gas masks as a result of persistent bombing by German air forces. Fears of a gas attack in the UK have prompted several schools to conduct exercises for their pupils. This picture shows young schoolchildren learning how to put on a gas mask and file to a nearby meeting area hand in hand. Number 9. Hit by a meteorite. Anne Elizabeth Fowler Hodges is my name. She is the first person known to have been struck by an extraterrestrial object. This 5.5 kilograms, 12 pounds, space rock, dubbed the Sylacauga meteorite, landed in Hodges' living room on the afternoon of November 30, 1954. As the meteorite smashed through the roof of her home, she was lying on her sofa, snoozing in the afternoon. It crashed into her left hip after rebounding off a wide wooden radio, causing extensive bruising. The incident drew international attention, and a bitter ownership dispute erupted between Hodges and her landlord over who owned the meteorite. The rock was being offered for sale for up to $5,000. Hodges eventually settled with her landlord after a one-year battle by paying $500 for the chunk of meteorite, but public interest had waned and buyers were no longer interested. 8. Horatio Robleys' severed head collection. Horatio Gordon Robleys sits with his array of severed heads in this 1895 photograph. These tattooed Maori tribesmen's heads, known as mokamokai, have been preserved. During the musket wars in New Zealand in the 19th century, violent battles erupted between arriving Europeans and native Maori. During the war, natives' severed heads were used as currency, which could be exchanged for other commodities and even weapons. Number 7. Andersonville prison camp survivor. Andersonville prison camp was infamous for mistreating prisoners during the American Civil War. A swamp served as the foundation for the jail. Thousands of sick and dying men's feces were sometimes used to contaminate bathing and drinking water. Dysentery, diarrhea, and scurvy were all too common at the camp. This photograph depicts a Union soldier who escaped the atrocious conditions at Andersonville prison camp. His emaciated appearance reveals the atrocious treatment that prisoners of war were subjected to. 6. Staked heart of alleged vampire. The heart of suspected vampire Auguste Delagrange has been mummified. More than 40 people are said to have died as a result of his actions in the early 1900s. Delagrange was assassinated in 1912 by a Catholic priest who stabbed him in the heart. Number 5. The last public execution in America. The last public execution in the United States was photographed on August 14, 1936. A crowd of up to 20,000 people is expected to gather. After being found guilty of the rape and murder of 70-year-old Licia Edwards, Rainey Bethia became the last inmate in America to be publicly executed. Despite the fact that the crime was horrific, the case became a media storm since the sheriff of DeVise County at the time was a woman. Florence Shoemaker Thompson was her name. Hundreds of journalists from around the world descended on Owensboro, Kentucky to cover what was billed as the country's first public execution of a woman. Thompson, however, had arranged for Arthur L. Hash, a retired Louisville police officer, to pull the nooses trigger, which was unknown to the public. Hash showed up intoxicated on the day of the hanging and refused to pull the rope to start the execution at the last minute. Nothing happened, and the audience watched in disbelief. Finally, a young deputy police officer pressed his hand against the trigger, which opened the trap door and killed Bethia. Number 4. Hiroshima atomic bomb shadows. A US B-29 bomber dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, killing 166,000 men, women, and children. The explosion was so powerful that it left a lasting impact on the poor souls who died on that fateful day. The shadow of an elderly person with a cane is permanently carved into stone in this picture. Number 3. The elephant's foot. This is an elephant's foot, one of the world's most dangerous things. It's a molten nuclear waste pile of sand, asphalt, and core sealant. It can be found in the Chernobyl nuclear power plant's basement. Anyone standing near it when it first formed after the 1986 nuclear disaster would have sustained irreversible damage in seconds. An individual will become dizzy and nauseous within 30 seconds. Within 2 minutes, the human body's cells will begin to hemorrhage. A human will be rendered almost powerless after 4 minutes, suffering from vomiting, diarrhea, and fever. A person standing next to the elephant's foot, at the time of creation would have been exposed to a lethal dose of radiation and would have died within 2 days if just 5 minutes had passed. When the radiation levels had fallen several years after the accident, this picture was taken. Because of the nuclear fallout, this picture is grainy. Number 2. Sword attack. Anton Lundin Peterson, 21, started at Cronin School in Trollhättan, Sweden, on October 22, 2015. He was dressed in a German World War II cap, a Darth Vader-style mask, and wielded a sword. He stabbed a 15-year-old student Ahmed Hassan in the abdomen after attacking 20-year-old Talavan Eskander with the sword. Hassan died later in hospital after Eskander died on the scene. Peterson then walked the halls, where he came across 2 oblivious students who posed for a picture with him, mistaking him for a Halloween prank. Nazir Amso, a 42-year-old teacher, asked Peterson to take off his mask shortly after. Peterson retaliated by stabbing the senior citizen. Amso died after a 6-week stay in the hospital. Police arrived at the school at this stage and shot Peterson, who later died in hospital. Peterson yelled, "I am your father," before assaulting his victims, according to the report. Number 1. Televised assassination. On October 12, 1960, at Tokyo's Hibiya Hall, this photograph was taken. It portrays the moment of effect during the assassination of Japan's Socialist Party leader Inejiro Asanuma. Atoya Yamaguchi, a Japanese ultra-nationalist, is the assailant on the right. The moment he plunged a small sword known as a yoroidoshi deep into Asanuma's stomach is captured in this still picture. Yamaguchi wrote on a mirror with toothpaste many weeks after the incident, while being held in a juvenile detention center. 7 lives for my country, the words read. The Emperor, long live his Imperial Majesty. He then used his bed sheets to hang himself from a light fixture. Subscribe Dark 10 and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos of creepy, interesting, or scary facts and much more. Check out this playlist of my Dark 10 videos of crime and killers and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.